Hi there. Today I present to you a visualization tool known as spider chart. Spider charts are practical data visualization and analysis tools which plot different observations of a variable along lines radiating from a central point. In this way, spider charts help us easily compare these observations. Surprisingly, spider charts go by many names, such as web charts, radar charts, star charts, and more. Why so many? Well, the idea of spider charts dates back to the 19th century when they were invented by a German scientist named Georg von Meyer. Since then, they have become popular in various fields: economics, business, engineering, sports analysis, and more. So over time, each field gave them a different name. To demonstrate the practical application of spider charts, I will use Excel to visualize data on credit to the non-financial sector as a percentage of GDP in several developed countries. This data set covers annual observations from 1999 to 2022 and is sourced from the Bank for International Settlements, BIS, Statistics Explorer. Why this variable? Why data on credit to the non-financial sector as a percentage of GDP? Well, this ratio is an important macro-financial indicator that measures the total loans granted by banks and other financial institutions to companies, households, and other non-financial entities against the gross domestic product. Rapid increases in this ratio can raise concerns about over-indebtedness and the creation of financial imbalances, while sharp declines can signal deleveraging or credit contraction, which could affect economic stability. Such analysis based on spider charts can offer valuable insights to policymakers and economists and can also be a useful addition to a master's or a doctoral research project. Here we are in an Excel file. I downloaded the original data from the BIS database into Excel, which includes values of credits to the non-financial sector as a percentage of GDP from 1999 to 2022. For the first 12 member countries of the Eurozone, as well as 3 other world economic powers, the United Kingdom, the United States, and China. From this original data, I prepared this table in the wide format. Wide format is characterized by a relatively small number of rows and a large number of columns. In this format, each time point, which in our example extends from 1999 to 2022, is represented by its own column. The values of our variable credits to the non-financial sector as a percentage of GDP are entered in separate columns for each year. In contrast, the long format is characterized by a relatively large number of rows and fewer columns. To illustrate how this format looks in our example, I have prepared a separate sheet with the long format table. In this format, each observation is represented by a single row with one column containing the point in time, in this case, years, and other columns containing the corresponding values for the variables being measured. There can be many variables. So to summarize, wide formats are suitable for simple data sets with a small number of variables, while long formats are more suitable for complex data sets with multiple observations for each variable. In our example, where we observe only one variable over time across different countries, the wide format is therefore used. The next question is whether a line chart or a spider chart is better for visual data analysis, and we will try both and compare. So first, the line chart. It is relatively easy to make a line chart in Excel with a few clicks. Several different colors to distinguish countries, and we noticed that Luxembourg is a country that stands out from the rest in terms of the value and growth of the observed variable. Now let's see the spider chart. A spider chart can give us some interesting findings. First, we can notice that in the years from 1999 to 2007, that is until the global financial crisis, the level of indebtedness was low. And after that, it is increasing. Second, if we switch rows and columns, we get new findings. But let's use several shades of blue. Marking earlier years with lighter color and recent years with darker color. Now it can be noted that Luxembourg stands out in recent years, as well as that in previous years, the debt level was lower in most countries and that it is increasing over time. Although here we cannot establish that the increasing of indebtedness starts after the global financial crisis. Of course, these findings would require additional analysis and would be a very good start to a master thesis. The spider chart can be further improved by choosing the offered spider chart models, bolding the names of the countries, reducing or enlarging the font, adding or subtracting the number of observed countries. It is relatively easy to get to a high quality display of data. The decision whether to use a spider chart or a line chart in this particular example will depend on the preferences of the researchers. My suggestion would be to use it wherever it offers better or at least the same data visualization compared to other types of charts. One tip at the end, if you want to mark the table in Excel in the same way as here, and thus avoid highlighting every time you need to do graphics, then you should, I show example in the new sheet, you should simultaneously click on Control and T, okay. And that's all. Thank you for attention. Feel free to write your experience using spider charts in the comments. Subscribe to follow the next lesson of the Macrofinance channel.